Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are taking an absolute dream journey right into the heart of the Swiss Alps. I'm going to give you a complete, structured master guide to navigating the breathtaking Bernese Oberland. We're going to cover it all, from idyllic, peaceful valleys to mountain summits so high they'll literally make your head spin.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Our agenda maps out our journey from the valley bases all the way up to the dizzying alpine peaks. We'll be looking at 1. The perfect alpine base, 2. Authentic Swiss cuisine, 3. The James Bond Mountain, and 4. Thrills and high peaks.
All right, Section 1, the perfect alpine base. Because to conquer the high peaks, you first need the perfect base camp to ground yourself.
Just look at this place. This is Wengen, often called the sleeping beauty of the Swiss Alps. Imagine stepping out onto a sunny terrace at over 1,200 meters. You take a deep breath, and the air is so clean it feels like nature's very own air purifier. And looking out, you're treated to this unobstructed panorama of the Lauterbrunnen Valley, a spectacular valley that boasts an incredible 72 waterfalls, including the famous Stahlbach Falls.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the population dynamic. Wengen has a tiny, tight-knit, year-round population of just 1,300 residents. But when winter rolls around and the world-class skiing opens up, that number absolutely balloons to 10,000 visitors. And despite those massive seasonal spikes, the pristine quiet of the village is completely preserved. Why? Because cars are strictly banned here. You can only arrive by foot, bicycle, or by taking a stunning 12 to 15-minute ride up from the valley on the historic Wengerneltbahn cogwheel train. It's amazing. You trade the noise of honking traffic for the sounds of Swiss cows literally walking right through the village streets. Oh, and this little village has also hosted the legendary Lauberhorn ski race every single year since 1930.
Moving on to Section 2, Authentic Swiss Alpine Cuisine. Because let's face it, altitude requires energy, so we definitely need to fuel up with the region's rich culinary traditions.
And authentic Swiss food goes way beyond a simple bar of chocolate or a pot of fondue. Take a look at this quote from the chef de cuisine at restaurant Jungfrau. It perfectly captures a deep, sustainable, farm-to-table philosophy. The focus up here is intensely local, relying on valley farmers and prioritizing animal welfare. That genuine respect for the ingredient is the real secret to this cuisine.
A perfect example of that local respect is Alpkäse. This isn't your mass-produced supermarket cheese. It's an incredibly exclusive alpine cheese crafted only during the summer months. Because the cows are grazing on very specific, high-altitude pastures, the wild alpine herbs and flowers they eat directly influence the milk. The result? A truly complex, floral flavor profile that you simply cannot replicate anywhere else.
The rest of the menu is basically a mouth-watering alpine checklist. First up is Rösti, which actually started out as a hearty farmer's breakfast. Think grated potatoes pan-fried to a crisp, golden crust, usually topped with a perfectly fried egg. Then you have fresh lake fish, like the mild, delicate Eigli and Felchen caught right in nearby Lake Thun. And if you visit in the autumn, the wild game season kicks in with incredible dishes of venison or wild boar served with traditional spätzle.
All right, Section 3, the James Bond Mountain. Now that we're well-fed and energized, our narrative ascent truly begins as we head for the Schilthorn.
But before we hit the summit, I have a quick trivia question for you. What do James Bond, a revolving restaurant, and the Swiss Alps all have in common? Any guesses? Let's figure it out.
Let's move to the map and see how this builds. Getting to a nearly 3,000-meter summit takes a bit of logistics. You start down in Lauterbrunnen, head to Steckelberg, and then take a series of cable cars up through Gimmelwald, Mürren, Berg, and finally to the Schilthorn. I know, it sounds like a lot of steps, but it's actually a super seamless and incredibly scenic journey upwards.
Now, we all know Swiss train tickets can be notoriously pricey, but there are some incredible discounts available here. A standard adult ticket is 108 Swiss francs, but with a Eurail or Jungfrau pass, that drops to 81. A Swiss half-fare card takes it all the way down to just 54. But the absolute best deal? If you visit on your actual birthday, you get a completely free round-trip ticket to the top. No way, right? But it's true.
So back to that James Bond connection. The Schilthorn was actually the primary filming location for the 1968 classic On Her Majesty's Secret Service. When you visit, you've got to explore the Walk of Fame, where you can literally fist bump George Lazenby's handprint.
And here is a fantastic piece of trivia you'll learn up there. The late Queen of England is officially considered a Bond girl.
The absolutely crucial point here is making sure you book a reservation at the Piz Gloria. It's the world's first revolving restaurant at this altitude, and they serve an incredible all-you-can-eat James Bond brunch. The restaurant functions kind of like a giant donut. The outer seating ring slowly rotates while the center buffet stays still. It takes exactly 45 minutes for one full 360-degree rotation. That's wonderfully slow, enough for you to get up and grab a plate without losing your balance, but fast enough to comfortably sit and watch 200 different mountain peaks roll past your window.
And finally, Section 4, Thrills in High Peaks. Welcome to the final, adrenaline-fueled chapter of our explainer. This is where the adrenaline really starts pumping. Getting up into these mountains is an engineering marvel in and of itself. Take a look at the incredible engineering of this new cableway operating directly between Stechelberg and Mürren. This incredibly direct route actually shaves a full 10 minutes off the total travel time from the valley to the top. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer verticality of the Alps we are dealing with. 159.4%. That is the maximum gradient of that cable car ride. It makes it the steepest cable car in the entire world, climbing an almost vertical 600-meter rock face, flying upwards at 7 meters per second. It's wild.
Now, if the cable car doesn't get your heart racing, the Berg Thrill Walk definitely will. I really urge you to be brave here. One stop below the Schilthorn, you can step out onto a steel and glass walkway bolted directly into the side of the sheer cliff. You get to traverse a glass floor, crawl through a suspended tunnel, and even walk a tightrope-like trapeze line right over the abyss. And the best part? The whole shebang is completely free with your lift ticket. Overall, the Jungfrau region offers an amazing diversity of extreme high-altitude excursions. For instance, you could take a train through a 7-kilometer tunnel burrowed right inside the Eiger and Munch Mountains to reach the Sphinx Observatory at the top of Europe, emerging into a year-round wonderland of ice and snow. Or you could take the Royal Walk on the Mannlichen, which brings you to a majestic, crown-shaped viewing platform that makes you feel like absolute alpine royalty.
What a journey, right? We've covered everything from the peaceful valleys to the absolute dizzying peaks. So I'll leave you with this. From savoring floral alpine cheese in a quiet, car-free village to traversing a 159% gradient up a sheer cliff face like a secret agent, which piece of this spectacular Swiss paradise will you conquer first? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I hope you feel fully prepared to book your own ultimate Swiss adventure.